Welcome to another Grit and Grime basketball podcast. I'm your host, as always, David Sago, here with he who does everything, Thomas Arnold.
Sliding in the podcast like the Nets are sliding into the standings, lower and lower.
I hope you're not doing that on the podcast.
Hey.
And Jose Garcia Vidal.
Hello, how are you?
With the mood lighting.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm in 3D space, isn't
it? So, I mean, we came to discuss the news, but it looks like trade season is starting to hot up. So that's what we're going to do. Jump in with some trades. My only worry is that as soon as we stop recording, a fresh trade is going to happen. Yeah.
Oh,
there's going to be a whole bunch by the time the episode actually comes out.
I'm definitely
keeping an eye on Twitter. Keeping an eye on Twitter.
But yeah, it's inevitable, man. It happens to the best of us. So we are going to get things kicked off with one of the aforementioned trades, and we're going to do the rest of the trades, and we're going to discuss some potential trades. Where should we even start? I don't even know what.
I think let's start from the beginning. Like the first one of the big trades that we're going to talk about was Portland and LA Clippers.
Let's do it.
That was February 4th. So the Blazers sent Norman Powell and Robert Covington to the Clippers in exchange of for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a 2025 second round pick via Detroit.
Yeah. And a lot's been said about what Portland did to acquire Norman Powell and Robert Covington. And people have basically said, you know, they traded this for Norman Powell and Robert Covington, and now they have Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a second round pick to show for it. And it didn't look good. That's a relatively new GM over there in Portland as well, who's been tasked with this. Well, I guess it's a retool, not a rebuild. Because as Tom dropped the Tom bomb on us, he said, that rhymes too nicely. Actually, I don't like it. It's icky. He said that they're planning to keep Dame. And my plans of a Westbrook trade were dashed. Plans, hopes, dreams, call them what you want.
I'm calling it BS. I think they'll trade him.
You think he's gone?
Yeah. I wonder how involved he was on this decision making. Like, probably not at all, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think he is, but like they basically just traded his best friend on the team. It's I don't mind I don't mind sticking around, but it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, even more bad times. So
I mean, Eric Bledsoe, he promised so much a couple of years ago, didn't he? He was such a promising player when he was in the Bucks, especially. Who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe he can give us some.
I know. It's going nowhere.
Yeah.
It's going nowhere. But yeah, it just, I mean, the reason they've done it, I guess that's where we should start, right? The reason they've done it is they've managed to clear enough cap space for a max player slot. So they could potentially sign someone even as big as James Harden this summer if Dame could do enough to if Dame could do enough to get him to Portland. I mean, they only have the most strip clubs per capita in the country. So
that's attractive.
I mean, you got to know your audience, you know?
True.
Imagine the pitch meeting. I wonder where that's going to be.
Who was the player that went for chicken? Who went out for wings in a strip club recently? Who was the player?
Lou Will.
Lou Will. They should get him into the room. It's like, look, here's to pitch you the ID.
There you go.
Oh god.
So yeah, so that's another plan. I saw some people speculating on, was it Reddit? And they were saying potentially that Philadelphia could actually take advantage of this, since we've mentioned Harden already, that Philadelphia could potentially use Portland as leverage, and Harden could use Portland as leverage and say to the Nets, if you really does want this Philly trade, he could say, if you don't trade me, I'm just going to sign with Portland in the offseason.
All right.
And go to strip clubs.
Yeah.
So is Harden's contract expiring then at the end of the season?
He is a free agent.
So yeah, he's gonna be in power in control then. Like that's the thing, isn't it? He needs to either be traded now or lost, basically, because he's gonna leave the Nets at the end of the season, whatever happens, I guess, unless they win a championship, which is very unlikely.
Yeah. Oh,
just takes a little health. And a finals in Phoenix.
I mean, that is true, but Kyrie hasn't been as consistent as we expected him to be. And I guess like it's ridiculous, because how can a player that only plays every other day or every other game be consistent? You can't. The definition of consistency is being able to play consistently, right? So he cannot consistently play. So how can he be consistent if he doesn't consistently play? I don't know what anybody expected the outcome of this is going to be.
Well, it's only what I've been saying for the last 2 or 3 months, basically. It's like, this is highly disruptive, and it's disrupting again, and we all know. But yeah, anyway, it's not a Nets special we're talking today. So.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not net. Ow. I didn't take a nap, so I'm not very sharp.
Bracing myself.
So Portland made that move. They then followed that up with another trade. Pelicans, sorry. Have I got that one queued up? Jose, take it away.
Well, the following trade was not that one. That happened on today. But yesterday there was another trade. Was it yesterday or Sunday? Anyway, it was actually Indiana and Cleveland. And that's Indiana trading Caris LeVert, 22-year-old, to and a 22 second-round pick to the Cavs for Ricky Rubio and a lottery-protected, this is important, lottery-protected 2022 first-round pick and another 2022 second-round pick. And another second-round pick via Houston. So it's like three picks and nothing, because Rubio's not going to play, obviously.
Yeah.
For Indiana ever, because his contract also expires at the end of the season. So
poor guy, man. Poor guy.
Well, the way I see it, I think this is actually good for him. Like he's never gonna even step into Indiana floor. Like he's never gonna go to games. Like he's not gonna do that. They're not gonna want him to do that. They're not gonna ask him to do that. So. He showed his value this season. So any team would want the veteran guard to maybe come on the bench, maybe start a few games. Why not?
I know one that could do with a point guard.
The Knicks.
Yeah.
When's the last time the Knicks had a good point guard?
But boy,
Derrick Rose.
Does
he count? He doesn't count.
Rose is
Marbury. Is Marbury a point guard?
He was a point guard.
Sure.
Yeah,
but he was a scoring and not caring about anything else point guard kind of.
True.
Point guard
would you say a good point guard? He was good. He was a point guard.
Yeah, fair enough. Was that the last time you had a good point guard? That was a long time ago, man.
Yeah. It was, wasn't it?
Was it? And before that, it was John Starks, and that's it.
So John Starks was more of a small guard. Yeah.
And before that, it was the Pearl Monroe in 1971.
Yes.
Yeah. Desperately need one.
The 3 point guards, the 3 good point guards in the history of the Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, going back to that trade, the Cavs. I think they've already won the trade game, unless Dame gets traded to the Knicks. Then in that case, we win. But it's so smart what they've done. So smart. getting a bunch of those guys. Well, getting Levert in there. They needed somebody to score. And it's like, and it's not going to be disruptive. Talking about disruption, it's not going to be disruptive to the way they play and the way they've been moving the ball on offense. So I think it's a win-win for them. They just...
I mean, Karras isn't really a ball mover.
But I think he can be a good fit. I think it's another good player added to the rotation, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think you're adding someone that will, kind of be like a vampire. It's gonna suddenly suck on a ball.
He might.
I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't think he will.
Might suck the energy. Because that's what he's good at, right? He's good at scoring off the drive. They're one of the worst teams at scoring off the drive. He's one of the top 10 players at scoring off the drive. But he's, that's the only way he scores. Like, he's not a good catch and shoot player. He's not much of a playmaker either. But I mean, it's better than having an injured Rubio with an expiring contract.
Absolutely.
So it's good business move, isn't it? Like that's it. That's what you need to do. And again, I think it's like a win-win-win situation because both players benefit from this. Like I said, I think Rubio can benefit from this in a way. I don't think the Cavs were going to re-sign him, to be honest.
I'm not sure he would have wanted to re-sign with the Cavs, I think. Because don't forget, he wanted to play for the Suns and then has been traded twice.
True.
Yeah, I think he was hit by the NBA business side very hard, like many other players have in the past, right? He already, I don't know if you read some of his declarations a couple of weeks ago. I think he was still healthy. And he did say that, when his son turns 5 or 6 and starts going to school, the NBA is just not going to be worth it for him. Yeah. He's probably going to go back to Spain.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely fair.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's about it anyway. Like, he might just go back to Spain next year.
Yeah.
He might go back to Barcelona or something like that.
Yeah, wherever he wants to have his family.
Yeah.
Would make sense.
Interesting.
We didn't actually talk about the Clippers side of the Blazers trade. It makes me sick to my stomach that they've got more good players that play on the wing, and my Lakers have no good players that play on the wing outside of LeBron James.
Yeah,
it makes me absolutely sick to my stomach. They already had Kawhi and Paul George on the wing, and they've added Covington and Nick Powell. It's just like, what the F, man? And they got him for crap. They got them for crap.
Justin Winslow, Eric Bledsoe, and Keon Johnson?
Yeah, how many other teams around the league are like, hey, we would have paid. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the Pau Gasol trade. Where it's like, hey, we would have given you a better deal than that. All you had to do was say so.
They panicked.
Damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. That one came out of nowhere as well. I mean, it was probably the premises of what happened with today's trade, right? They just Blazers went, it's fire sale. Let's go.
Yeah.
We are rebuilding.
Retooling.
Yeah, sure. Again, it's absolutely mad. They now, like you said, they now have Leonard, Paul George, Covington. But I think Leonard is supposed to come back sometime soon. I mean, there's not going to be a timeline.
No, I heard he's out for the season. Most recently.
I read that. Yeah, that's the good news. That's the latest news.
Yeah, I heard he was
back
progressing. Yeah, I heard he was progressing well, but the latest I heard was that he won't play this season.
Same.
And it both could be true, right? That he's looking strong and he's looking good, but he's just not going to do the whole comeback before I'm ready type of thing, as he's done in the past.
That's fair. He's not getting any younger.
We just need Tony Parker to come out and make some more comments about him.
Hell yeah. Again, another trade that came out of nowhere. It just felt weird. I was like, wait, I didn't know the Clippers were shopping, And and especially for that type of player, again, like you said, it's just other teams had that need, and which it was a two-way thing with this one. It's like I didn't know Clippers were out looking for players, and I didn't know they were looking for wings, so that made almost no sense. It does and it doesn't, right?
But what they could do is flip them or flip some of their current wings for a point guard, which is what they really need. And now they definitely have the assets, the excess in assets to pull that off, to pull off a good trade for a good point guard. Yeah,
it could be 4D chess they're playing, and they're just preparing themselves to do another some more moves before, what is it, Thursday evening. So we'll never know when we will know. Sorry, we will know. We will know very soon. But it's quite something. I thought of you when they were like, oh, hang on, they've added some more guys. But then is any player sane enough to go to the Lakers right now and be, getting those few minutes you're gonna get, because LeBron is not sharing those minutes. So
there's another wing spot wide open.
I know, but I mean, there's a point guard spot wide open too for you guys, and center and power forward.
AD's our center.
Oh yes,
yeah. He's been great since he came back.
Who would you like to come to the Lakers, Dave?
On Randall.
For this season or for next?
No, now, because right, you have some problems now. So what do the Lakers need to do? What do the Lakers need to do?
I mean, if we could undo the Westbrook trade and maybe do the Buddy Hield trade and undo the letting Caruso go and basically rewind, and then maybe use a couple of those assets to trade for a point guard, a good point guard, one that's better than Schroeder, who actually passes the ball.
Yeah. I mean, we could do a Westbrook Kemba Walker trade if you want. That's like for like.
Pass the ball. He doesn't pass the ball.
Can't defend.
Pass the ball. That's the issue. Like, it's crazy actually watching the Lakers play, because Westbrook his passing is about the only thing that he still does really well, but his like chemistry with like AD, and even when DeAndre Jordan was playing, like there were so many times when they just couldn't connect on lobs and stuff like that. Whereas now Malik Monk is a bigger part of the offense, and he's throwing lobs up to AD all day long.
Yeah, he's been very reliable lately.
I did enjoy the highlights of Westbrook getting booed by the crowd after trying another 45-degree bank shot, and I'm like, the anti-Duncan. It's how many of those have we seen this season? Like, when he literally bricks.
5 easy. I've seen 5 easy.
I'm like, try something else. Don't go with the backboards. Just
it's like one per game, and we're like 50 games into the season.
Yeah,
seriously. Seriously,
but it's actually quite an interesting. If you're into anything that has to do with psychology and sports, like actual athletes, and how important it is to be good in your head before getting into a game. Like, you can clearly tell he's mentally. I'm not saying checked out, but I'm saying he's been hurt, or like he can pretend all he wants that his confidence has been shot, but like he can pretend all day long that he's a tough guy or whatever, but like that's actually translating on court now for the last few weeks, and it's a good case study if you're into that sort of thing. But I as much as I'm not a Westbrook fan, there's times I'm feeling like, oh god, it's actually sort of painful to watch, to witness.
I almost feel like this, whatever it is, I don't know if it's going to be players or if it's going to be the coach. There's a change coming to the Lakers very, very soon. As in this season, either Frank Vogel is gone or something like that. It's just different personalities there.
Yeah,
talking to players.
Yeah, Vogel's entering the last year of his contract, which is next year. So it's possible that there could be a change, especially if he doesn't get an extension.
What's LeBron's status in terms of contract?
I think he's under contract for, I want to say 2 more years.
I think so, yeah.
I want to say
That sounds about
years.
right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think who. And what about AD though? He's staying for. He's got another year after this, right? Oh no, he's resigned the couple years ago for
after the championship.
Yeah.
So
so he's going to be there for a while. So at least you got those 2
or 3 more years. 3 more years, I think.
You got a good solid foundation there with those 2.
We'll just blow it up.
It's the championship foundation. It's just the pieces around it that we just haven't gotten right. Yeah. And I actually think last year's team was really good. I actually think last year's team was better than the championship team. It's just that LeBron and AD weren't healthy.
I tend to agree. Yeah.
That sounds fair.
But hey, we're not here to talk about teams that haven't made moves. We've got teams that are making moves.
The Cardi B of the NBA.
So we move to the next one.
Who's next?
Next is Blazers Pelicans.
So
this one's an interesting one because the Blazers finally traded CJ McCollum. Along with Larry Nance and Tony Snell.
Who hasn't missed? He hasn't missed a single free throw in the last 3 seasons.
No way. How many did he shoot?
Has he taken more than 5?
Doesn't matter. Like he's took 1. He's taken 1 or 0. It doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
It's all about not missing. Anyway.
And Portland gets from the Pelicans Josh Hart, Thomas Satoransky, Nickel Alexander Walker, Didi Lusada, a first-round pick for the next draft, and 2 future second-round picks. That's a lot. I guess that's CJ's contract right there, right?
Yeah, big contract.
Who won this trade?
I mean, they got the best player, right? So it's the Pelicans, but it's one of those ones where I don't know, the Pelicans, like obviously CJ McCollum doesn't match up with their timeline, but I think what they did was what they've done is make a win now move. Right, they're another team that's on the fringes of the play-in, and they've made a run up to get close to the 10th spot, and they can now push in and hopefully solidify that as they go forward. Hopefully for them also, it's a move that Zion would be happy with, giving him a player that can create a little bit for himself, a little bit for others, and can shoot. It doesn't help them on the defensive end where they're just going to struggle because it's really difficult to build around Zion defensively. But at least it gives them like an almost all-star caliber player. And some much needed scoring. They, win now move. And that's it, really.
I also see it because there was a lot of talk when they... Again, it's all BS, but like you know how Twitter is. When the Knicks traded for Cam Reddish, right? And they were like, "Oh, look, this positioning themselves to get Zion." And now I'm reading again. It's like, well, now look, the Pelicans are saying to Zion, "You don't need to go. You don't need to move. Look, we got you, CJ.
Yeah,
engage your players."
I don't know if there's any truth in that.
And I mean. Cam Reddish doesn't play, right?
Exactly.
So that deal wasn't what we thought it was. I don't think it was about recruiting Zion and all of that nonsense. It was a move to get under the cap. They weren't going to re-sign Kevin Knox. Cam Reddish has an extra year on his rookie contract. It was a money move. And you always have to take a second to think about these moves after they happen sometimes, because what originally looks really dumb or really weird makes more sense when you look at a team's cap sheet. And there's going to be a few teams, I think, that you see as the deadline draws near that like get themselves under the cap. I can't remember the one specifically, but there's a lot of teams that are like 2 or 3 million over. I think Boston Celtics is one. And if they get under the cap, then not only do they not have to pay the fines and all of that, the luxury tax, but they also gain from all the teams that are over the cap. They get a payout of about 10 million. So it's like a 15 million swing.
Yeah.
And yay, the billionaires save 15 million by getting under the cap apron.
Great.
Finance, no fun. So yeah, there's that.
I don't know. It's funny because in that trade, between the Blazers and the Pelicans, the first reactions I've seen, it was not about the trade. It was about Dame Lillard. It's such a weird one. That one. It wasn't about like almost no one analyzed what players each team were getting and how they would fit in into the roster. Roster was like, oh, Dame's alone now.
Yeah.
It's just a weird one.
Just completely forgetting about Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, but fire sale. You'll be gone too.
Yeah, right. I think because he re-signed with them. I can't remember how long his deal is. Because him and Dame were both free agents. Wait, were they free agents? No, he was just thinking about leaving. I think Nurkic said if he left, I would have left. But I don't know what his leverage was, what his situation was. But he's not what he was, right? We saw during the playoffs that he's obviously still useful, but he can't be consistent as he used to be. And yeah, so if they're rebuilding around Dame, I don't know if you need Nurkic to stay, but I don't know if they can find a home for him.
He's becoming an unrestricted free agent at the end of 2022.
Okay, so he's a expiring contract next year.
Yeah.
Oh no, you said unrestricted.
No, this year. This at the end of 2022. This year. So
at the end of this year.
Yeah. And he's on 12 mil right now a season.
That's pretty good for him.
Turning 28.
That's a lot of Bosnian dollars.
Bosnian dollars. Yeah, he's turning 28 though, so it's gotta
buy 5 teams.
He's turning 28.
Yeah.
He looks older, man.
Like
Come on.
33 or something. 34. He's turning 28.
He's turning 28.
Holy
this year,
Bosnia,
2022.
So
those injuries did him wrong.
Oh yeah.
Wow. 28. So he's entering his prime. Who thought
allegedly
Nurkic was entering his prime?
No one.
Oh dear. Wow. I don't even know what to do with that information. I'm shocked.
Okay.
Pay the man. Get Nurkic some help.
Gosh.
So that's what side? Yeah, let's talk about the Pelicans side. Yeah. All right.
It's a weird trade. It's a weird trade. It's hard to analyze. Go on. One more.
You mean the Pacers trade?
The one we're about to talk about? Yeah, that's that's a fun one. Go on.
Trade between Indiana and Sacramento. Indiana receives Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. NBA champion Tristan Thompson.
Thompson. I mean, no one's beaten Cleveland in the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Canada's own Tristan Thompson.
Canada's own. Kardashian's own Tristan Thompson.
That's more appropriate. Sacramento receives Domantas Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and a 2027 second-round pick. So they basically get a 16-year-old player.
Yes.
Yeah. So are we giving the worst front office awards to the Kings? Like, are they, or is it a case of they've done too much drugs? They came in the office, they went, yo.
I thought Vlade left already, man. Didn't Vlade leave like 2 years ago?
It's Vlade's ghost. Still making deals.
With a finger on the red button going, pull that trigger. Bang, 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 bang.
Oh, man. He left his disciples there working for the Kings.
Yo, there's someone on Twitter went, somebody said, I think the Pacers do you know how you try to put some names in the trade machine and you're like, oh, just send that offer to the other guys, and they just went, should I put Halliburton in it just for fun, just to see? And there was some kind of answer back saying, yeah, we'll take that. And they went,
Did they think it was the fake machine, and really it turned out to be the real deal? It was a text message, and they thought it was just a simulation.
Wrong group, wrong chat group. Too late. Okay.
Oh shit.
Fine.
Accepted by the league office.
Okay.
God, I mean, what happened there? I don't know. It's a hard one again.
Yeah, it just blows my mind that, I mean, because let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that Fox was on the trade block, right? The surprising thing about this is that it's Halliburton that was traded rather than Fox.
Yeah.
And I think there had been people saying like, oh, why is anyone on the Sacramento Kings untouchable? Right? Because there's no superstar there. You enter the draft so you can hopefully draft a superstar. And if you don't, your chances of winning are like ridiculously slimmed no matter who you have on your team. And really no one should have been untouchable. But still, to me, I thought the Kings thought that Halliburton was untouchable. So for him to just be thrown into this trade, like out of the blue like that, I'm just shocked. But I guess I shouldn't be. Right?
It is the Kings.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad of a trade. I mean, it's kind of a bad trade. But Sabonis is a really good player, and Sabonis is probably the best player in the trade. It's just that if Halliburton gets better, which he could do. I think he's an old rookie, though, wasn't it? He was an old rookie. I know he's not a rookie anymore. So if he does get any better, then it might look bad.
I mean, yeah, as a now, who's the best player? Yeah, of course. I mean, Sabonis is an all-star. It's like, it's not even the thing. The weird thing is, again, what he said is nobody was picturing Tyrese being moved, and then Buddy Hield's also being included in this, where he was heavily linked to the Lakers and the Knicks again, and then Tristan Thompson, who is being shipped again. It's like, we don't even know where he was. I didn't even know he was still in the NBA. It was like he's got extracurricular activities taking up some of his time. So like, I didn't even know he was still a player. But again, Indiana might not be it's a good move for them. I mean, they've got Brogdon. You're getting Brogdon with Buddy Hield and Halliburton. That's a sexy beginning of a team right there. You've got what's the face, the center,
Miles
Turner in there. It's a decent starting five if you look at it this way.
Yeah, I read that Miles Turner, like this trade will make Miles Turner happy because he can play with Halliburton. Like, it can be good for Indiana.
And both team as well. We thought it was Miles Turner that was supposed to be moved from the Pacers, and we thought it was De'Aaron Fox from the Kings, and bang, you got the other guys.
But to be fair, Domantas Sabonis was on the trade block.
Yeah, it was. But still, you would have expected them to move first, the other guys to move first, I think.
Yeah. But hey, they managed to get it over the line, I guess. They were probably both happy just to change something, because I don't think either team was particularly happy with the way that things were going so far this season.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, it's not surprising that it's kind of in a way like for like talent. It's just that I think years wise, the Halliburton side of things might prove to be the difference.
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of teams that are just trying to reshuffle. It's literally what we have in football, it's like the winter transfer windows, and it's like buy, last second you get anyone and everyone in there, just trying to get a better run for those playing positions. So at the moment, it's to me what I think it's a bit weird that it's between those teams. Like, I wasn't expecting the Pelicans to make a big move. I wasn't expecting Sacramento to be moving a bunch of their young players. The Pacers to be making all these deals, and the Blazers as well. It's like I was expecting all of those at the end of the season, but for them to start the process now of trading like that, that's what took me surprised. Like we haven't seen we haven't seen the Lakers, we haven't seen the Knicks, we haven't seen like teams that actually were
competitive
playing for that were expected to do better. So yeah, again, I guess everyone's waiting on who the Nets is going to sign, right? Because they need more players, apparently.
It's the buyout season that comes afterwards. That's their time.
True.
Buyout season after the All-Star break. Yeah, there's still a few players that could be on the move. Marcus Smart is being shopped.
Is he?
Yeah, he's being shopped. There's someone who just fell out of my head. I mean, the Nets. Paul Millsap wants out of the Nets. That's not a big move.
Has he played at all? Has he played? I haven't seen him play in ages. Really. And last year with the Nuggets, he was actually playing well.
He played like what series was it? The Portland series, was it? Where he came in and like basically won them one of the games with like a 10-minute scoring binge. But he's done. He's not.
Yeah.
He hasn't got it anymore. He's
reminds me of David West when he
moved
to the Warriors.
But David West actually played really well until the end. In limited minutes, granted, but he was productive in his minutes and played solid defense. I think Millsap's just a little bit.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of names. I think Terrence Ross on the Magic was also being moved. I mean, that's not a big name, but like he's been there and done a couple of things. Yeah. Who else was it? Jeremy Grant as well. That's the name that's being moved to, especially for the Bulls and again the Lakers.
Yeah.
Who else? Whatever.
Anyone that needs a wing, really.
Harrison Barnes is one I saw earlier on.
Oh, really?
I think people were like, "Oh, he should get on the Suns." Again, that's
he shouldn't. He should come to the Lakers, but yeah,
you guys need it. But then the biggest one is Ben Simmons. They're still out there. They're still waiting on.
What's gonna happen there?
Big Ben. I don't know. Do you guys think he gets traded before the deadline? No.
I still think. I still think that the Sixers are asking way too much.
That was what I was saying. Like they just think he's the best player in the world. So why don't you play him then?
He doesn't want to play.
It's almost on a weekly basis in the last couple of months where it's like, oh, they've been offered that guy and that guy. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, pull the trigger, do it. Just take somebody. Like, you're literally like I'll be Embiid. I'll be actually like he's not saying anything publicly. But like I'll be him. I'll be fuming because I would go into that office and go, look, just get somebody, anybody, just add more firepower. Like. I'm playing super well. He's in his prime right now. Like they need to get somebody for Simmons ASAP. Like
he's just overtaken Jokic on the NBA MVP ladder.
Has he? There we go.
To take the number one spot.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid.
It could be him this year. It could be him because you know how we keep saying about Story and how. That's his time, I think, to be the MVP. We had Giannis twice. We had Jokic. We had, it's like, it's his turn now. It's his turn. But yeah, get rid of Ben Simmons. Get somebody in there. Get the bearded wonder, in there.
Now, Harden in the Sixers, that would be interesting. Like, Harden playing with Embiid. That would be fun.
I'm actually curious. I like to some perverted side of me. Like he's like, oh yeah, I like to see that, because I like to see again. Don't tell Mike I've said that, but I like to see Embiid lifting a title because I like Embiid. I think
he's good, man.
Like to see him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see Mike Smirk's face. Like being, oh, we're gonna won it.
Why don't you want to be happy for your friends, Tom?
I want to. I'm trying to. It's not coming out well. Like I'm trying
another
to.
Championship for the podcast.
Yeah, that's what you want. Oh, Jose, we're so far off. Bringing that joy.
I was gonna say, you know what? We are our trade is for the Spurs is maybe trading Thaddeus Young for Torian Prince.
Seen that,
which wouldn't actually be such a bad thing for us.
Does Torian Prince play?
Is he still there? Damn.
Yeah, he's in Minnesota, I think. He's in Minnesota. Well, I mean, we just need younger players, right? Thaddeus Young is over 30, so we don't want anybody over 30.
Yeah. Well, Nurkic is under 30, we just learned. So.
Yeah, we just gotta get him.
But we have a center. We're happy with our center.
You don't have a backup.
And we just got Zach Collins back, by the way. He played again the other day after
after 2 years, right? Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah,
he was showing some real promise before he got
absolutely.
He's not bad. He's not bad. I'm happy with him. I just want 6 more wins so we can get Bob that title of most wins
all time?
ever.
All time?
All time in the regular season. Because he already has the most wins ever, playoffs. And
right,
he's the first to get 1,500 wins.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, 6 more wins for Pop. He deserves it.
I think we can do it.
Costs anyone nothing. Come on, let's just do it.
We're playing the Lakers twice, the Knicks once. That's it.
Ah, there we go. I'll give you that. I'll give you those 3 wins happily.
Well, while we're here talking about the Spurs, DeJounte Murray, first time All-Star.
Yes.
Gets in as an injury replacement for Draymond Green. Is he up to 20 points now? 28 and 8?
He is on 19.6, yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, 8 rebounds and 9 assists. So two steals as well. So leading the league in steals. So yeah, he's having a really good season. Every game the Spurs won is because of him, basically. That's it. He was a triple-double by DJ. And the thing about him is that he tweeted about this. When he was growing up, and I read some of his story. When he was growing up, he basically was in the street around drugs at the age of like 4 or 5. So yeah. And then he basically became kind of like a good player at the age of 14, 15. And then he became really good friends with Jamal Crawford. And Jamal Crawford took him under his wing and taught him how to play and stuff. So yeah, it's a good story. And a lot of teams, passed on him. And he was drafted 29th by the Spurs.
Is that Seattle? Is that where Jamal Crawford's from?
Seattle, correct.
Yeah, there we go. I thought so. Yeah, that's great. That's good for him, man. It's a rough story. As so many of our players have. The injury replacement in the Eastern Conference. I'll pause so that you can edit out of the video.
It's all right. Yeah.
I don't know what those symbols were that he made. I don't understand what he was saying he needed to do, but that's okay.
Emergency poo.
Those are the best types of poo.
Yeah. Oh, now there's rumors of Joe Harris and Tobias Harris being on a trade block. Okay. A lot of interesting trades, IDs.
Shit, sorry, it was a delivery.
Okay. Oh, no worries. So where was I? Oh, Eastern Conference, right?
Yep.
Sha-na-na-na. And in the Eastern Conference, the injury replacement for Kevin Durant was LaMelo Ball. Just as LeVar told us, his sons are going to be all-stars. All of them are going to play for the Lakers.
Oof. Yeah. Oof.
1 out of 2 ain't bad, huh? 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Well, 1 out of 3. Yeah. It's who was it? We had a talk in the WhatsApp, and we said somebody else could have been in there.
Jarrett Allen is who people.
Oh yes, that was it.
But who do you think deserves it more though? LaMelo's having such a good season.
He is. I don't really care that much. Like LaMelo's a better player, and I don't necessarily think that Cleveland deserve to have 2 players.
That's fair. That's fair. And the Hornets deserve to have one in there.
They deserve to have one. So
the more exciting player is LaMelo. I mean, if you want to have someone in the All-Star, but
and when we look back historically and we're like, so and so was an All-Star this year, we're far more likely to think that it was okay that LaMelo Ball was an All-Star. I'm sure this isn't going to be his last All-Star, whereas I'm not sure Jarrett Allen will ever get one. You could say that's an argument for him to get in now. I think I would rather have someone that is going to get more All-Stars be there, right?
Fine.
And to me, he's just a better player. He's just a better player.
Sure.
More exciting as well. Yeah.
I guess Jarrett Allen would have been like, you remember in the 2000s when you had Tim Duncan on the All-Star game, and it was just like literally just getting rebounds and passing the ball.
Yeah.
You would have a game like that.
I'm just gonna do my stats. I'm gonna get my double.
It's more for and to be honest, it's more for the like contract incentives where I'm sure he has a pretty good bonus if he makes an All-Star team because it wouldn't have been expected of him. So it's for that kind of stuff, and I do like Jarrett Allen. Like if he did picked, then fine. But it's not that big of a deal to me. Some people are up in arms. How could they snub Jarrett Allen like this?
Like that, just by not picking him. That is, there's a lot of talk about around the All-Star games this year. I don't know, maybe I spent too much time on Twitter, but I was like, you guys have to relax. Like I know there's a bunch of contract stuff in there, and there's, sometimes it can be the only one shot the player has to make it, but it's just it's a friendly game at the end of it. Like, who cares? I was like, I know it's an added argument in a discussion to who's a better player out of X, Y, Z and
legacy
stuff. To me, I pay very little attention to how many All-Stars your player has. There's more like titles and MVPs and stuff like that. That's more interesting, but you guys need to chill.
Yeah, these young players, they need to get on the All-Star now. So when we talk about the best 100 players in the NBA history in 25 years, we can say, look, 10 All-Stars.
Yeah, Jarrett Allen got put on the list, but Dwight Howard was left off again. Snubbed again. How?
Only fair.
So I have to believe that in 25 years, there's going to be at least 25 new players that are better than Dwight Howard, right?
I mean, but there was 76 on this list anyway, so maybe he gets in as like the 102nd player or something.
Maybe
fair enough.
Oh man, that list made no sense.
I feel like we didn't particularly get some closure after that episode. I still feel like I didn't talk about it, Like why is Manu out and Westbrook in? Like
MVP, man.
Fine.
Popovich benched him. That cut off his chance to have all the accolades. All NBA. He was the sixth man.
For the greater good.
Yeah.
But if you want group therapy, we can definitely organize something if you want. Oh God. Yeah.
But hey, is that it? Are we done, Zoe?
So far, I haven't seen any new trades happening. So
I kept my eye on the old Twitter. There's nothing in there worth mentioning.
I just saw a message that said that around the NBA, they believe THT is a bad asset with a bad contract.
Yeah.
Now I'm sad.
Oh.
Are you sad? Oh my God! Somebody just did a Photoshop of Sabonis with the Kings jersey again. I can't. It looks just weird.
Yeah.
Ugh.
A lot of these are going to be weird.
Oh no! Oh God! And now it's saying Portland is still in talks with Detroit with Jeremy Grant. They're rebuilding, retooling. Ooh.
Portland. Oh, to acquire
Portland.
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, to get him.
Nurkic?
Hmm.
We said he was a free agent.
Prime
right?
Nurkic?
True. Prime Nurkic, yeah.
They still need to match. Oh, no, they don't need to match contracts because they're under the cap. Would they still have max space with after they trade for Jeremy Grant? Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I just read that THT might be on the move. Yep. We'll see.
People on Knicks fans on Twitter, they need to chill because somebody just asked any trade news on the Knicks for the Knicks, and an actual, those home reporters for the Knicks. It's like, yes, I know of 3 trades they've made, but I'm keeping them to myself until nobody on Twitter asks me. I'm like, you guys need to chill.
We do have some news. I don't know if it's breaking news. It's kind of breaking news. From the Hooper's Voice. Shouts to the Hooper's Voice. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram. Governor Kathy Hochul indicating that New York's indoor vaccine or mask mandated could be, I don't know why it's phrased like that, could be lifted by Wednesday, but it's hinting that the school mask mandate could remain. So if Kyrie wants to play in a school gym, he won't be able to. This comes as hundreds of New York City employees marched across the Brooklyn Bridge Monday morning ahead of their possible termination this Friday due to their vaccination status. They marched from, we don't need to hear that, blah, blah, blah. Key deadline looming. Protests are erupting against the city. Who are not fully vaccinated will be terminated Friday. So they could lift it, which would mean Kyrie can play home games, and Tom is excited.
I'm excited. Dribble his way into a 9-game losing streak at home and away. Nice.
Will that make Harden happy? Does that mean he doesn't get traded? Find out on the next Grit and Grime Basketball podcast.
Well, that must be the smoothest out
to be continued
a podcast I've ever heard.
That's it. I'm not even going to add anything to it. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, who knows what that means? Watch this space.
It's exciting. I mean, I'm not excited about Kyrie. I'm excited about all the trades.
Yeah. Kyrie can go away.
A lot going on.
Oh man, shall we just stay on for another 48 hours? Just record the longest podcast, just so we don't miss anything.
No, unless you're paying me.
Sometimes you gotta take one for the team, man.
They're not paying you?
I do not have to take one for the team.
Are you not getting paid? Because I just got mine.
Oh my gosh.
Jose.
Who's head of HR again?
Just gonna mute myself.
Need to send some emails.
To HR. Good luck. Your case is important to us. We'll make sure to listen to it and
we'll come back with a response in a couple of months.
Yeah. We'll get back to you.
We'll trade you.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man. All right. I think that's all I've got. That's all she wrote. So we can wrap things up there. This has been the Grit and Grime Basketball Podcast. You can get us on social media at Grit and Grime Pod on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Am I missing something? Maybe, but we're there wherever it is.
We'll be there too.
Remember to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Make it 5 stars, please.
Yeah.
A 4 is as bad as a 1.
Yeah. If you're in first, you're last.
Yeah.
Get me. Only the winner wins. So do that, please. Subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube, pushing the YouTube. Tom gets a bonus if we get YouTube subscribers.
Yes, £5 per subscriber. True story.
So let's pay for his kids' next birthday cakes.
Which is in 4 weeks exactly. Can we please get that sorted?
Let's make a big push, guys. Big push.
Yeah.
5 weeks.
And I think that's it, man. Thank you for listening. We love you. I've been your host, David Sago. He's been Thomas Arnold.
Yes, that's me. We love you too.
And he's been Jose Garcia Vidal.
Adios.
And we're out here.